Good morning, everybody. Ray Greenway put on a great show last night for the opening season. He's a jack of all trades. He played the ukulele, multiple guitars, and the piano. And he also sang a cappella, or is it a cappella? See, I've heard professionals say a cappella, 2 words. But maybe during talkback we can discuss which is best. And before we start the service, we are so fortunate to have John Shepard as our own in-house professional. And if John's voice is up for it, maybe John will sing a cappella? No. All right, to get the streaming audio going, John's going to play before the service starts. So, John Shepard.
Happy Sunday! We're all together again. It's so wonderful to be together. And in an effort to share our time together, we'd like to light the chalice, and I would like you to join with me in doing so. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
And as the chalice is lit and as the flame begins to burn, may it calm our hearts, quiet our minds as we gather ourselves together in this place to find our significance with each other.
You ready to be centered? Oh, it's a mighty long way from over yonder. Oh, it's a mighty long way from there to here. We're gonna take it, oh yes, one step at a time, so that we can make that walk from there to here. Now here is how it works. Oh, it's a mighty long way, it's a mighty long way from over yonder, from over. Oh, it's a mighty long way from there to here. We're gonna take it, oh yes, one step at a time, so that we can make that walk from there to here. Let's try it again. Oh, it's a mighty long way from over yonder. Oh, it's a mighty long way from there to here. All together. We're gonna take it, oh yes, one step at a time, so that we can make that walk from there to here. Now every child born is a revolution, with a song inside. Some won't hear it, oh, some hear nothing else. He'll sing night and day just to keep that song alive. Oh, it's a mighty long way from over yonder. Oh, it's a mighty long way from there to here. We're gonna take it, oh yes, one step at a time, so that we can make that walk from there to here. Now when you've got a dream, you got to stand up and shout it loud and clear. What's that I'm hearing? It's the voice of the people singing that we will make that walk from there to here. Oh, it's a mighty long way, it's a mighty long way from over yonder. Oh, it's a mighty long way from there to here. We're gonna take it, oh yes, one step at a time, so that we can make that walk from there to here. So that we can make that walk from there to here. So that we can make that walk from there to here.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister here. Those of you that are here on a regular basis know that this is not a regular worship service because of what just happened here. If you were here last night, you saw a fabulous concert that Greenway put together.
Thank you.
And it's my joy to have him here today to conduct the service, as well as to keep us sharpened and on our toes with our musical abilities. There's a number of announcements that I want to bring to your attention, but first I want to talk about Greg for just a little bit. That concert, as I said last night, was particularly meaningful, and that song was sung. You should have been here. If you weren't, you are here now. His musical DNA is in the folk scene in Boston, and we can hear that. And he has 8 solo albums to his acclaimed 3 albums with brother-son trio, of which Joe Jinks is one of them. He's another guy, which makes the
Pat
trio.
Richter and Joe Jenks.
Yeah, absolutely. Also touring with Reggie Harris in a program called Deeper Than the Skin, which is building bridges between races, and we would love to be able to hear that. You would be mistaken if you thought this is Greg's Lone Ranger tour. Somebody should have picked up on that. He is wearing a mask, after all. Thank you. So the reason why he's wearing a mask is he's just finished stem cell treatment for cancer. And so there's a measure of courage and determination for him to even be here last night and here. This mask is for his own safety as he's undergone that treatment. And that black mask speaks volume for Greg's commitment to his message, his music, and his desire to be here today. So Joanne and Steve, thank you for bringing him back into our presence and for what he does here in this community. And Greg, we're so very thankful that you can be here, and we're looking forward to hearing all that you have to offer us. As I said, there's a few other announcements I want to bring to your attention. Those of you that are guests and visitors here, you have come to a very special service today. And I'd love it if you'd be willing to introduce yourself, stand and introduce yourself so we can know that you're here and a little bit about where you're from. So is there anybody on my far right, that section over there, first or second time visitors that'd be willing to introduce themselves? And in the center section, first or second time visitors? If you would, please. Thank you, sir.
My name is John Reardon. I live in Charleston. I'm visiting Diana.
Welcome. Good to have you, John. And on my far left, your right, first or second time visit. Yes, ma'am, if you would, please. Both of you are ma'am sitting in the back. I'll let you go first and then on the outer aisle.
My name is Laura Wilson. This is my second visit. I live in Alljoy and I'm glad to be here.
Welcome to be here.
Nice voice.
My name is Caitlin, and I'm visiting from Charleston. My sister is in Bluffton.
Welcome. Good to have you here. Anybody else that I've missed? Anything else that I should know about? I know that there's a number of announcements that need to be made. Linda Klingman, where are you? If you would, please. I'm going to ask you to come up here, and you have an announcement to read.
Actually, I have 2 announcements. Number 1 is that today is the last day to sign up for the Welcome Home Dinner next Saturday at 6 o'clock, so that you can avoid the long lines of people who are paying as they come through the door. You can also pay online. And the way to do that is to go to the website, uulocountry.org, and in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see 3 little lines. Just hit that, click on that, and you'll see a column in the middle that has all kinds of events, and just go to the Welcome Home Dinner, click on that, and you can pay for the dinner there. Otherwise, you can pay at the door. But the line will be out the door, all the way through the parking lot, so, you know, that's up to you. And if you can't make it, please give your ticket to somebody else, because everybody who has signed up is expected to pay for it, because we have to defray the cost of the food. And also, the cookbook. The excitement, I could see it in all your faces. The excitement is building. We now have a proof of it, and it is supposed to be here about the beginning of November. I want you to remember that this is a great Christmas gift. So as you're ordering your, let's see, we have a number of books. As you're ordering your gross, or if you can't do that many, your dozen, if you want to just fill out I forgot to bring it up with me. There are forms in the back of the church on the little table back there. Thank you. Diane's waving one. Sharon's waving one. They're all different colors. So if you want to pick one of those up and just fill it out, you can put it right in the box and put the check in the, you can put that in the collection basket, and please, in the memo line, write cookbook so that it's coded the correct way. And you'll make Sharon very happy with the correct coding on that, right? Yes. Thank you very much. I hope you'll consider buying as many cookbooks as you can think of as gifts, and of course for yourself. And we hope to see you all at the dinner next Saturday. Thank you.
That welcome back dinner is going to be catered by Olive Garden, if I have that right? Yes, and it is welcome back. And by the way, you don't have to just come back. You can just come if you want to, but just sign up and get a chance to know some folks that are pretty cool. Some other announcements that I want to bring to your attention, if you have your little day timers open. Saturday, October 18th, well, we've just talked about that. That's at 6 o'clock. Sunday, November 16th is the committee fair. And so if you are curious about how you might be able to invest some of your time, some of your skills, some of those things that interest you in this particular church community, you'll have an opportunity to meet with all of our committees and talk to some of the chairmen and some of the things that we do and how to make this a richer, more vibrant organization and community. And so I'd encourage you to be a part of that and to come and hang around for just a little bit. Thursday, December the 11th, is our holiday covered dish dinner, 6 o'clock. That's in December the 11th. That's a Thursday, so please make note of that and write that down. Kathy, I see that you have an announcement to make. No apologies here. Come on.
Okay, you probably all know me by now. Kathy Zeiser from both Social Justice and Care Committee. If you have been to any of the stores in the area, you know the holidays are coming up. I mean, they're taking the Halloween decorations down and putting Thanksgiving and Christmas up. So a big issue, I know there's so many issues social justice-wise, but one big one is food insecurity. And with the holidays coming up, I will put a list. I have a little social justice board out there with a list of items that are particularly the pantries are in need of. So keep that in mind. Also, the Bluffton Sun City Democrats are running a campaign and letters to Sheriff Tanner regarding his contracting with ICE. So we're kind of writing all these letters to beg him not to. So there is a mailbox outside the doors here behind behind the bench, and you'll see it. It's a little box, and it's got letters to Sheriff Tanner. So if you could take the time and write a letter. I wrote a personal one, because it means a lot to me. Our immigrants are our neighbors and our friends, and they come to our churches, and they're just such a big part of our community. So please consider writing a letter to Sheriff Tanner. And then, let's see, as far as, next Saturday, October 18th, is the No Kings Rally. I know we have our dinner here at 6, but there are several rallies going on earlier in the day.
Hilton Head is at 12. We could all go down to Hilton Head, and they're having one at 12 o'clock.
Oh, 12 o'clock. I thought you meant the 12th. I'm like, oh, God, I missed that. But anyway, yes, Hilton Head, yes. So they have actually two at 2:30, Indivisible No Kings Rally will be held at the library in Hilton Head. So anyway, I'm almost done here. So I had also put a sign-up sheet. There are some of our members who need rides to various events here, like our dinner's coming up, especially if they're in the evening or at nighttime. So I had a sign-up sheet out there. I have 3 names. There's 2 on there from Hilton Head Plantation who are willing to provide rides to our congregation members. There's 1 there from Sun City. I'm going to leave this out there if anyone else is willing to, just even last night for Greg's concert, there are people that can't drive at night anymore. So, and I think I'm done. So thank you, Charlie.
Kathy, as you were talking about the ride share, I couldn't help but hear the irony of it. It's a very long way from there to yonder. So we really do need to help us have that kind of support as we bring our people in and support each other. Are there any other announcements that need to be brought to our attention that I'm neglecting? Yes. Depends.
Well, she gave me permission to tell.
Come on up.
So, hi, I'm Diana. A lot of you know Sandra, who sits behind me every week. She gave me permission to tell the congregation today that she fell off a ladder. And she knows she had no business being on a ladder now. She broke L1 and L2, so she's in excruciating pain. She wanted me to say hi to all of you. I would encourage us all to pray for her and wish her a speedy recovery, but it's hard. Sandra's so functional and so energetic, and to see her down like this is hard. She's open to visitors. Just give her a call, like a half hour, an hour beforehand. She's very open to visitors, and probably cards, too. So who knows how long she'll be out.
Thank you. Please communicate to her our heart's desire for her well healing, quick healing. Anything else? So I'm going to invite Greg, if you would please, to bring his opening words and sing together if we can.
When I saw that this month's topic is cultivating compassion, I was sort of ecstatic because that's my job as a songwriter, and I've always seen it as part of my job. And I love the Dalai Lama quote that was associated with it, that love and compassion are necessary. They're not, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. And without those elements, humanity cannot survive. And when I looked up the definition, I'm an ex-English Lit major, so this is what I do. The word compassion comes to us through Old French, sort of liturgical language, and then that came from the Latin compani, which meant suffer with. So I really love the active part of that word, to suffer with. That component with. It's to me the unstated part of the UU first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of all individuals. To me, that has, if you really believe that, then compassion and the active part, the with, is essential to make the first principle work, and the reason why we sit here today. So what I'm going to do today, and I really appreciate you asking me to do this, and I especially appreciate Reverend Charlie Tyler allowing me to share this sacred space up here. Thank you, sir. And what I would like to do in the presentation of the music that I'm going to sing, and also in the sermon, is I'm going to present sort of a historical view, because honestly, the only thing I truly know in this world and can't be argued with is my experience. We can talk facts, because we all know what's happening with facts. Reality is being argued over more now than ever before. I was talking to a bunch of 18-year-olds on Wednesday, and I told them that reality has never been so under assault than for these people. So, but the reality of humanity is the same. The tech changes, the behavior changes, the idea changes, our brains change, but still love and compassion, as the Dalai Lama said, are necessities. So I'm going to give us a little tour through things where my mind was opened to change. And I'll talk about in the sermon what allows someone's heart to change? What allows someone's heart to get hard? These are essential ingredients because on one hand, here we are sitting here trying to create that process, to cultivate compassion, and there's an equal, if not larger, amount of people sitting out there trying to do the exact opposite for political expediency. So, in 2006, I lived in Massachusetts, the People's Republic. True. And I loved it. And in 2006, I was invited to come to Virginia because they were trying to pass an act called the Marriage Protection Act. I don't know if that happened down here or not. But it was essentially, an opening assault on gay marriage. And you should have heard the commercials. Someone saying, I need to protect the institution of marriage for my children. And I just thought about this. Boy, the heteros are doing so well. So at the time, I was introduced by a friend of mine at the UU Church in Norfolk. When she said, when it all comes down, I want to be standing on the side of love. Well, did I know that Jason Shelton had written the song? That I realized that standing on the side of love was a banner on the side of UU churches all across America? No, I did not. I was ignorant. But I said to her, what a great line, that should be a song. I said, did you write that? And she goes, no, go ahead, use it. Well, thank goodness for me, you can't copyright a title or I'd be paying Jason Shelton a bunch of money. So here's my version with my particular experience. I used to stand by the side of a road that stretched into the past. I turned around, and there were two ways to go and a load to lay down at last. I saw sisters and daughters, brothers and sons. I saw the lines that divide them up. When they call my name, I'll be standing on the side of love. That's going to happen a lot if you want to sing with me. When they call my name, I'll be standing on the side of love. Everybody knows history's a bald-faced lie. It all depends on the side you're from. And there is no way to ever unwind all the things already done by sisters and daughters, brothers and sons, to push some down, to rise some up. When they call my name, I'll be standing on the side of love. When they call my name, I'll be standing on the side of love. Now I want to be there when the spaceship lands. Something crawls out that we don't understand. That's when we'll all embrace the family of man, and the rest will be forgotten. We we the people. So many gave their lives to carry these words this far. We the people. There are times that it seems we've forgotten who the people are. They're sisters and daughters, brothers and sons. No line should divide them up. When they call my name, I'll be standing on the side of love. When they call my name, I'll be standing on the side of sisters and daughters, brothers and sons. No line shall divide us up. When they call my name, I'll be standing on the side of love. Ooh.
Now it's our opportunity to share our abundance. If you've had the chance to put your donations on the back table, as Kathy mentioned, we are in a time of great food insecurity in the Low Country, and our charitable donations go to either Bluffton Self-Help or the Sandalwood Food Pantry, and they do wonderful work here in the Low Country on behalf of people that are less fortunate than we are. And in order to share and sustain our community, we take an offering at this time. For those of you visiting, please let the basket pass, as your visit to us today is our gift, your gift to us. Thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity.
And now is the time where we share our joys and concerns. We share our joys in the hopes that we can amplify and celebrate with you. And we share our concerns in the hopes that we can help alleviate some of those burdens for you. So if you have a joy and or concern, please come up to the table, take a stone, share briefly with us your name and or your joy or concern, and then place your stone in the cairn.
Hi, my name is still Linda, and I wanted to express a joy and thank you all for all of your kind thoughts and words and prayers for my sister and my nephew. My sister's doing very well after her knee surgery. My nephew just had another CT scan, and the horrible infection within his abdomen is clearing up. I have found out since then that his appendix had burst and did not know about the word gangrene until this past week. But he is doing much, much better. And it's still going to be a long road back, but he's doing much better. So thank you so much for your kind thoughts and words.
Good morning. I'm Sarah. Many of you may know I'm an immigration law practitioner. And I don't know how many of you know I come from a very conservative family, conservative in the sense on immigration. And I'm married to a Venezuelan man. Today, I'm going to be talking to my sister, who's very on the conservative spectrum, you know, quote unquote, as we say. And I'm going to be talking to her about a text that she had with my husband. They were talking about Venezuelan baseball players in the United States. And then Ruben said, oh yeah, we export a lot of oil and Venezuelan baseball players. And then she said, and I don't think she'd be listening today, so that's why I can share with you. She said, oh, and drugs and gangs. So I'm going to be talking to her today because I've been like avoiding talking to her the past couple months. So if you can just keep me in your thoughts about that so she can understand why that was not cool. She kind of has a habit of saying things by text. You know, there's some people that kind of are like, can you just think before you speak? And you know how that's kind of like the thing now. You just say whatever's on your mind. And she's like, oh, I was talking about the news. I'm sorry, he misunderstood. But it's sad because like she was really close to him and our family, you know what I mean? And it's just, maybe I'm making it into a bigger thing, but to me it's a big thing. And so please just, please just keep me in your thoughts today as I talk to her. And in the future, relate to the rest of my family, except one sister, she's cool, who have different ideas about immigration. Thank you.
My name is Marcella, and I just wanted to remind the women mainly, but also men, that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I was at an event yesterday listening to breast cancer survivors and some nurses. You can't run from it, women. I know it hurts a little bit when it's done, but it's only for a short period of time that they flatten them out like pancakes, but you'll be okay after that. I have mine on Thursday. I'm always like, I take a deep breath when it's done, and everything is okay. Second is that a lot of you are always asking me, when will I be singing again? This is the 4th time we'll be trying in Sun City. Our 3 previous ones were canceled by weather, and I'm checking out the weather for Wednesday at 4 p.m. at Hidden Cypress Pool. My partner Ryan and I will be performing, so if you're in the area and you want to listen to some good music, we hope to see you there. I enjoy seeing all the friendly faces, so thank you.
Hi, I'm Steve. Many of you know I used to work for public television in New York City. And recently, they've been decimated by the cuts by the federal government. They have to lay off people, and a lot of the programming that they're working on has to be halted. So they ask you for some money, just contribute just a couple of dollars each, so keep it going.
I'm John, and I have a joy, and it somewhat probably relates to Ellen coming up, but it's been about 2 weeks since David has played me on Words with Friends, and so he finally, about 2 days ago, he started playing again, so I knew that he was getting somewhat better. And I know that his cough that he's had for months has disappeared, so that's a good thing.
Yes, I was going to mention that cough thing. So yes, David has had a cough. My husband has been coughing for about a year. And some of you might think, you just get used to it. But you don't get used to it. And when he went into the hospital this last Sunday, he got out. He had been there for a week. And when he came home, I noticed it was really quiet in the house. So after a year of trying everything, cough syrup, steroid, inhalers, all kinds of stuff, being in the hospital for 1 week with a saline drip and also steroids being poured into your body nonstop, so bad that your feet now don't fit into your shoes. That's what cures the cough. So very excited about the cough being gone. And David is now home, and I just want to remind you that the Caring Bridge is a wonderful way to find out what's going on with him. People are checking the Caring Bridge, which is just a wonderful way to get the word out of what he's doing, how he's doing, what's going on. He did come home. Of course, we went to see the oncologist the next 2 days later, and he said, "Do you think you need some PT?" No, I don't think I need any PT. He says, "All right, well, let me see you get up." No, without your arms. He said, "Yeah, I think you need some PT." He says, all right, I do. So I know what PT looks like, right? It's like, do this, right? Do this. To me, that looks like vacuuming. So when he came home from the hospital, I said, "You need to do some PT." I brought out the vacuum. We are still us. And I know you haven't seen him in a couple weeks. He will be back, and we're fighting the fight.
Hi, I'm Joanne. I'm not sure exactly when Greg's journey began, but I believed that I would never see him again. So I am very thankful, grateful, happy.
Thank you so much, John.
Known him a long time and love him very much.
Many of you know my cousin Ray, who has spoken here a couple times. Ray has a granddaughter. Her name is Oakley. She's about 2. She was recently diagnosed with Lee syndrome. None of you know what that is. It's because only 1 in maybe 4 million children have this. It is terminal. And it's a difficult path, probably it's a difficult path for my family, Ray, my cousin, and you know him from his relationship here. So I wanted to share that with you. I do not know what the outcome will be right now or what the long-term diagnosis and prognosis will be, but this is a difficult piece of life for my family, and I just wanted to share it with you because as we share it together, it becomes a little less heavy. Thank you.
I will now place 2 stones in the cairn for those joys and concerns that have been left unspoken. And a stone for the children and the families that have been affected by gunfire. So in the meantime, if you can turn to the back of your hymnals to affirmation number 651, we can read that together. I am a single cell in a body of 4 billion cells. The body is humankind. I am a single cell. My needs are individual, but they are not unique. I am interlocked with what human beings in the consequences of our actions, thoughts, and feelings. I will work for human unity and human peace, for a moral order in harmony with the order of the universe. Together we shine the quest for a society of the whole equal to our needs, a society in which we need not live beneath our moral capacity and in which justice has a life of its own. We are single cells in a body of 4 billion cells. This body is humankind. And now we will hear from Greg.
Thank you. Before I begin, yes, I would like to turn it over again to Reverend Charlie Tyler.
Again, I just want to reiterate how important it is to have Greg here under these conditions. There's every reason why he should be home and in bed, not taking chances to come out here. And I thank him for that. There is a courage that's in that. There is a quality in him, and there's a message in him that I think that we deserve to pay ultimate attention to today. So with that, if you would please, make Greg feel special for being here.
I might turn it over to you again, Reverend Charlie. Before I begin, I would like to invoke a tradition that I encountered with a Native person in Virginia, and it's this. When I look around this room, this is a circle that you have, a circle. And when you're invited, when I am invited to speak before your circle, I want to acknowledge the life experience and all the wisdom that there is in this room. And with that in mind, I would like to ask you permission to tell my story. May I tell you my story? Thank you. It works so much better when you say yes. Compassion, compagnie, suffer with. It seems that it starts very early in life that you seek compassion. All I had to be was the youngest of 3 boys in a very sports-oriented family by several years. Compassion and justice were very important to me. Especially with my immediately older brother. I was always asking for compassion and justice. But something happens when you're in that situation, when you're kind of, who is the youngest in your family? We got a few, and some just won't admit to it. But, you know, you are kind of, what happened to me was, you know, the more they got involved, my older brothers got involved in life, I just kind of got dragged around. I just didn't get asked my opinion. And, you know, my parents would, yep, get dressed, let's go. You know, and I had little say about it because, you know, they were doing things, you know, playing basketball, playing football. We were going to their games. You know, and it was really honestly at one of those dinners after a football game when my parents are visiting with people, and I was sitting over the corner. I'm sure I just looked as bored as possible. And this nice lady, Katie O'Kelly, never forget her, nice Italian lady. She said, I have a ukulele in my back room. Would you like to play it? Now, she could have said, I have a didgeridoo in the back room. It wouldn't have mattered. I'd have said yes. But I picked that instrument up, and suddenly I had something that was mine. It was mine, and that's why I'm sitting here in front of you now. But we are all handed something. That's why the sermon is entitled, What We Are Handed and What We Do With It. Now, when you grow up in Richmond, Virginia, especially down the pike, where I grew up, down the pike was not a good place to be. It was, it was a lot of poor white people, a lot of angry white people beneath the surface. But you look at it this way: my parents had survived a depression and a world war, and when they came back, when my dad came back from Germany in 1946, and began the post-war baby boom, they wanted to be left alone. So we lived in a white neighborhood, totally white. If you'd asked me, what nationality I was, if you'd asked me what my religion was, I couldn't have told you. I would have been confused by the question because we were all so homogenous. Those things just didn't come up. So you can imagine that generation of people just passed on a story that they'd been told for hundreds, that had been passed down for hundreds of years without any objection from anywhere else. But I was born at just the right time, because the outside world started coming to Richmond, Virginia. My brother went to college. He left a couple of albums. Remember them? Yeah. He left one by a black man from Bedford-Stuyvesant named Richie Havens. Yeah. I could feel his beacon heart through that Zenith hi-fi stereo. And it just brought me alive because it was talking about a place where there was hope. People will run through walls for hope. But still, there was what was passed on to me, and what's passed on to all of us from the people we love, the ones who tell us who we are and tell us what the world is about. There's an emotional component to everything, to that story that we're told. And if you reject that story, it's like you're rejecting the people who told it and still hold on to it. So when you grow up in the 60s, things started happening. You couldn't ignore the outside world. The first black kids in my high school. For once, the civil rights movement actually made it onto the front page of the Richmond Times-Dispatch, subsequently referred to as the Times Disgrace. But that's my take on it. So, and things happened that were immediate, that weren't just abstract in the distance. The guy who was the point guard on my brother's basketball team was drafted and went to Vietnam. He didn't come back. And I just found out a few years ago how he died. He put his helmet and his body over a live grenade in a foxhole in Vietnam. And he's on the wall in Washington now. So things were shocking. There was a race riot at one of our basketball games. And I stood in the middle of it, not knowing what to do, because I knew it was caused by my racist coach. That was the precipitating thing. It's caused by so many other things. We're talking 1968, and when Richmond was one of the most tense places you could ever imagine. So what was handed me, the emotional construction, this is a kid who played Yankees and Rebels instead of Cowboys and Indians. I was always the rebel. It was the romance of the lost cause was even on television Johnny Yuma was a rebel. Remember this program? You have to be kind of old to get there. But this romance of the Old South, which was, and we can think of that in modern terms, which was manufactured with great intention by Daughters of the Confederacy and the veterans of the Confederacy. They literally have, at the Valentine Museum in Richmond, they have a piece of paper from a woman whose name I just can never keep in my head. I wonder why. But she determined how a book can be in a library and what history could be written. And the main tenet was, if it didn't portray the Southern soldiers as valiant and brave and right, it didn't show up in the library. And so this is when suddenly, and we're talking the late 1800s, suddenly thousands of statues throughout the South of Confederate soldiers were erected. All of this by a very few people. And so you grow up thinking, these are heroes. The statues that were torn down on Monument Avenue, they were beautiful works of art to me. But as I say, the 60s started to change this because another point of view was finally allowed into the arena. What causes someone to have a change of heart? It's very, very difficult. I asked that of Diana, and she said, love. Well, that's part of it. But it's also a commonality of experience. If you argue with someone, and Lord knows if you argue with someone now, you're just going to entrench them. And I mean, I think that Mr. Kirk is a total example of that. He took questions, but was he going to change his mind? Was his heart open? Was he going to incorporate something someone else said? To me, it was an opportunity to look magnanimous and repeat his talking points. So I go around the country with Reggie Harris, and we do this thing called Deeper Than the Skin. Reggie, by the way, will be here, and you don't miss him, on January 3rd. He is just amazing, and I am honored to sing with him when we do it. So he said this when he took a class on mediation, and it was that guilt is the glue that keeps everything in place, that keeps prejudice in place. You can't try to have a moral argument against someone's established emotional order. When you have a discussion with someone, in fact, think of it this way, the brain actually works faster interpreting opinions they agree with, because it doesn't challenge the structure of your emotional happiness, of your being, of your view of the world. So when somebody attacks one of those pillars of that, or even factually disproves what you believe, you reject it. You don't even remember it, because to incorporate that into yourself, into the structure of who you are, requires you to let go of some things that you have carried with you forever. And so it just makes it massively difficult. But you've, I'm sure, heard stories of people who hated blacks, and then somehow their daughter, their son married someone of a different race, and they had a grandchild. And they saw that grandchild, and all that prejudice went out the door. As a writer, you know that to engage someone emotionally, you want to track back down the chain of human experience and find a commonality between you and the listener. It's the same with someone's moral stance. You have to meet them where they are. People have to feel like they've been heard before they will hear you. So there are a couple of instances I would like to bring up. And first of all, I got to see Brian Stevenson at GA a few years ago. I don't know if any of you got to see him. What a spectacular human being. And he wrote a book called Just Mercy. And it's talking about, he was a lawyer, a Harvard lawyer, who would go investigate cases of mandatory life sentences in the South. And usually young black people, because of some circumstance, because the laws, to look tough, the politicians put mandatory sentences on things. This one young man was somewhere on the spectrum. And he had been through the system of adoption and foster home, the foster care system. And people who didn't know him did not know how he would be triggered. So he ended up being scared and he shot someone. Now, he was not properly defended. Now, he's sitting in prison in Mississippi for a life sentence. And so Brian wants to go in and talk to him and find out what the deal is, right? Well, he parks his car in the parking lot, and what's he see? He sees a truck that at the 4 points of the truck's bed are 4 huge Confederate flags. So when he goes in, the guard at the door says to him, "You know that's my truck out there." Now Brian is used to this, right? Now, he's a lawyer. He's supposedly, by law, to be let in as long as they know he has no weapons. But this guy made him, he forced him to be strip searched. But Brian went through this because he was used to it, to go in and talk to this kid. And so through this process, that guard hazed him, delayed him, annoyed him in every way possible. And so when he finally got a court date set, that guard was the one who brought the kid, the convicted murderer, to court. And he watched Brian defend this kid. And he talked about his years in the foster system and what that had done to him. And they left. It was undetermined what was going to happen to this kid. The next time he came to the prison, the guard said, "You go right in." He said, "I grew up in the foster system." A common experience made that large a gap small. What is that? Suffer with. Compassion is what that is. Now, I've had my experiences with things like that. I volunteered my senior year in high school for the city. It was January, and for Richmond, Virginia, it was very cold, 6 degrees. Never, ever seen that. And I was going around Richmond with a guy from HUD, Housing and Urban Development, who was interviewing people who had applied for public housing. So we go to this place in the city that I have never been in my life, didn't even know it existed. And there is what looks like a garden shed, because it literally had no insulation. It was maybe 16 by 16, and it had literally leaned over and was resting against the house next to it. We knocked on the door, we heard a voice, he went in, and there were 4 ancient black people sitting around in coats and hats around a can of Sterno. Now, when I came in, I am sure I might have been the first white person in that house. But the woman's face, she's one closest to me, when she turned and looked at me, it was from a million miles away. In actuality, it was 5 miles away from my house. But the cultural blindness that was built into me did not allow me to see that the system that allows me a fine education, that I moved forward, does the exact opposite to others. And my heart just sank because this is America. You don't have to sit around a can of Sterno, but yes, you do. And we are all compassionate people. We suffer with when we see that. Now, one last thing before I want to play you a song that illustrates this cultural blindness. We all know the story of Rosa Parks. And as my mind was opening to see people's faces and to understand the courage that it took to do the things they did and how bad it had to be for them to risk their lives, to put their bodies on the line with people who, like the guy with the 4 Confederate flags, could have cared less about their humanity. So I started to recognize that, and then I heard the ultimate story about Rosa Parks. And that was, it wasn't that she just went and said, "Nah, I'm not moving." No. She was trained at Highlander School for passive resistance. She was actually the second woman chosen. But the thing that breaks my heart is the night before, her family begged her not to do it for fear of what was going to happen to them. So something in what my fathers handed me, something in there. Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. Now I'll pass that cold True Aid orange at Vacation Bible School, and I'll sing anything with you. I knew the smugness of a culture that would teach its children idealism and not feel the necessity to tell you that it stopped here, that it didn't extend to all the little children of the world, that idealism applied only to the white people in our community. A community that was homogenous, and when we played the football team for the high school that was homogenous, next neighborhood over, we somehow hated them and ascribed to them all the worst traits. It's human nature. When Rosa Parks died, on New Year's Day, New York Times had a photograph of her. And I was waiting for somebody to pick me up. 20 minutes it took me to write this song. Because when she died, all of her efforts pass on to us. That's why we're here in this room as Unitarian Universalists, because we take that seriously. Goodbye, Rosa. The year has changed. The one when you left us, the one you became, the ones who remember your name, and the day you would not be moved. How many tumblers fell into place? How many some days just had to wait? How many lifetimes waited away till the moment came down to you? You were big, strong, and threatening. It might not be the case like thousands before you, blurred and erased. But you were small and defenseless, the face of grace. can't take no more, take no more. I can't take no more, take no more. Can't take no more, take no more. Goodbye, Rosa. Year has changed the one when you left us, when you became the ones to remember your name. Today you would not be moved. Another year that this happened was 55. I'd been born in Virginia, barely arrived in the bundle my fathers handed me. To their surprise were the ears to hear you. I can't take no more, take no more. I can't take no more, take no more. I can't take no more, take no more. All righty, that's it for me. Say it again? I'm supposed to do that now, aren't I? Yes. Thank you. In the name of love. Yes. I will need to find the book that just flipped off my finger. How could I forget this? Easily, my wife will tell you I have chemo brain. The song comes from going in Memphis to the National Civil Rights Museum. Which is the Lorraine Motel, the place where Martin Luther King was assassinated. And it's a time capsule, essentially. So when I walked through it, they had photographs from all the times, and the people doing all the nasty things looked like people I knew. But in times like these, we need our heroes and heroines. And that's what this song is about. When I get tired, it's like I was dropped into the sea. You could swim your whole life, and you know where you want to be. Everyone gets tired, and the water is so wide. Well, then somebody comes and shows you. They show you the other side, the other side. There was a little man, barefoot and frail. He took a walk down to the Ganges. He took a lion by the tail. He made a way out of no way. One by one they saw the truth. He was ready when they told him. They said, history chooses you. We see so far in the name of love. We are standing on, in the name of love, the shoulders of giants. One more in the name of love. And there was another lion and a lamb. He walked into the heart of darkness, into the streets of Birmingham. He made a way out of no way. One by one we saw the truth. He was already on the mountaintop. They said, Memphis chooses you. We see so far in the name of love. We are standing on, in the name of love, the shoulders of giants. One more in the name of love. In the name of love. April 4th, shots rang out in the Memphis sky. Free at last, they took your life. They could not take your pride. In the name of love, one more in the name of love. In the name of love, one more in the name of love. So make a way out of no way. Make their stories live and breathe. And we will never lack for heroes in our darkest hour of need.
For those of you that are guests and visitors, we will gather back here in a short while, and there'll be an opportunity for you to ask questions of Greg and to spend some time with him. He's going to stay up here on the stage just to kind of keep distance from us for his own safety, and we appreciate that. John and Laura and Caitlin, thank you for being here and making our place complete by your presence in this place. And I thank you for your heart. Ellen, are you still here? She's outside? David's absence is a big hole here, and I just want to say that. Here comes Ellen now. Thank you. That's what happens when we have the TV outside. Please tell David that he is missed here in this place. We feel his emptiness. We feel his absence, and we want him to be able to find his way back strong and solid soon. Please tell him that for us. Thank you. And Greg, your closing remarks, if you would, please.
Thank you all for opening your heart. And I just want to read a little piece from John Lewis. Follow your truth down the road to peace and the affirmation of love. If you shine like a beacon for all to see, then the poetry of all the great dreamers and philosophers is yours to manifest in a nation, a world community, and a beloved community that is finally at peace with itself.
In the spirit of compassion, our time together in this sanctuary this morning has come to a close. Would you please all rise and join with me as we extinguish the chalice? While we extinguish this flame, we still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment until we are together again.